Hey, fellow car people. I had to do some work on the Porsche 944 yesterday. Since I got it, I've been sorting out some electrical gremlins with the tail lights, brake lights, turn signals, and the headlights. And I got all that sorted, but the previous owner put on a aftermarket steering wheel. And so there were no horn wires. So I didn't have a horn. So I wanted a horn, but the way the computer is set up on the 944, the horn is wired in conjunction with the alarm, and it goes through the computer and this and that. I didn't want to mess with any of that, and I don't know. I believe the alarm has been bypassed before my ownership, which I think a lot of people do. So anyway, um, I wired a horn independent of the rest of the circuitry in the car. So it doesn't go through the computer. I ran new wires from the battery into the horn. I put just a little push button in the dash, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I thought while I was doing that, I thought, well, you know what? I'm having to wire a relay, and it's something that a lot of folks don't work with or don't work with often. And I know 15, 20 years ago, I had no clue really what a relay was. All I knew was when uh, I found out that I needed a relay for something on the car, I'd go to the parts store and say, I need a relay for this or that. And in reality, almost all the relays are the same. There's a few different ones on the Porsche, but when you're getting one for headlights, fuel pump, horn, or whatever, they're almost all identical. They have this one has 5 spades on it, but don't pay any attention to the one in the very center because I've never had to use the center one. So basically, you're going to use the 4 terminals on a relay. And I thought I would just make a quick video on this. This one, if you can see where my finger is right here, that is terminal 87. Across from it is terminal 30. And then we've got terminal 85 down here on the bottom, and then 86 on the top. And that is just like this drawing I just wanted to show you. I printed this off the internet, and so this is really simple. What you're going to do, if it's anything that is triggered off of a positive 12 volt signal, something like your headlights or your fuel pump, then this is the way you would wire it. Terminal 30 right here is you're going to have input from your battery. That's going to be directly from your battery or a battery source. And then 87 is going to go to the device you're powering, the positive terminal on either the fuel pump or the headlights. And then 86, this is going to be connected to the output or the trigger. Say if you're wiring your headlights, this would go to your headlight switch so that when you turn on the headlight switch, it'll send 12 volts to this. And then this is a ground. So basically what it would do, say on your headlights, when you would turn your headlight switch on, it'll provide 12 volts to number 86, and that's grounded by number 85, so that creates a complete circuit. And what that does, it opens the circuit from 30 to 87 in here, and this is designed to carry a big load, so the high amperage load. So it takes the load off of your switch, and so you don't have to have thick wires and a lot of things going to your switch. You can use a thin wire. This triggers it, and then it goes to here, and once the relay takes over, it's taking all the load. And your switches aren't really designed to take a big amperage load. So, and especially like the horn switch or button that I installed yesterday, it can probably only take 1 or 2 amps. So you need this to take the load off it when you're powering a device that takes a few amps, like a horn or a fuel pump or your headlights. And so what I did was, if anybody is interested and wants to stop frame this is exactly how you would wire a headlight or a fuel pump. Terminal 30, you're going to take 12 volts from your battery. It's best to use a fused line. In other words, just buy one of those little inline fuses that you can put in the line between the battery and Spade 30. That way, if something goes wrong, it'll blow the fuse and it won't burn your car up. 87 is going to go to the positive terminal, either on your headlights or your fuel pump. And then 86 is going to be the output from the headlight switch. Again, it's going to trigger it. Or an ignition source, like your fuel pump is normally connected into your ignition somewhere, so that when you turn the key on, it gets power. So if you're doing a fuel pump, you would just splice that into an ignition source somewhere. It doesn't have to be the same place the fuel pump is connected, but an ignition source, so that when you turn the ignition on, it provides power to 86, and then 85 just needs to go to a good chassis ground, or even back to the battery if you want, and then you're ready to go. And then when you turn the key on, it'll energize the relay. It'll open this circuit between 30 and 87, and what'll happen is then this will go to your fuel pump or your headlights and start powering those. And it's directly from the battery, and it's getting power from the alternator, so you don't get a drop in voltage or things. Your headlights don't dim when you're sitting at a light and all that kind of stuff. The difference is yesterday, when I wired the horn, it's a little bit different because the horn is triggered by the negative side, not the positive side. So the horn has power all the time, and what the horn button and the relay does, it actually grounds it, which completes the circuit. So it's a little bit different. On a horn, you would get your 12 volts from the battery, again a fused line, to terminal number 30 on your relay. Then number 87 is going to go to the positive terminal on your horn, and then 86 is going to be this is going to be connected to the terminal on the horn switch, which the horn switch is only going to have one. In fact, I have one right here. This is going to be normally what a horn button is going to be. It's either going to be a push button or a toggle, but it's going to have two wires. Basically, the switch just completes the circuit between these two wires. So even though this is red, you would actually, this would be, both sides are going to be negative. So you would hook this onto the terminal, and then the other side is going to go to ground. And so what will happen is when you press this button, it's going to complete the ground circuit to your horn. And then terminal 85 needs to be getting 12 volts from an ignition source or the battery. And what I did on mine is 85 and 30. I just connected those both to the same fused line on the battery. And because you just need 12 volts. And most of these relays, I get these on Amazon. I think a box of 5 is like 10, 12 bucks. And it even comes with the wiring pigtail. So all you have to do is, this only goes, fits onto this relay one way because the spades are all turned different. So it'll only go on one way. And then all you've got to do is figure out, these manufacturers will use different colors, but just figure out, like, you know, the black wire I think is 86, the white is 85, the yellow is 30, and then I think the blue is 87. So just figure out on the one you get which wire is which, and then you know what to wire up to what. And I'll show you on the car. This is the horn relay right here. I just mounted it near the by the left front headlight. I've got it in there. I'll show you the button. And I just put a button in the dash here on the left side. And so it works. And so anyway, thought I would just do a quick little tutorial on the relays if anybody's interested. They're not complicated. 4 wires. The terminals are all numbered the same on all the relays. So you just got to figure out you know, whether you're doing a negative or a positive. The only negative trigger I know of is the horn. The rest of them are all going to be the positive ones. So there you have it.